Hi guys, I was having some thoughts this morning about survival and uncertainty because I had an unusual day yesterday and it threw me a little bit off track. And I'm just thinking about us in COVID, where certainty is to a much larger degree missing for us than it's been in the past. And our minds always want to grasp certainty because certainty is safety. If we know where we're getting our food, if we know where we're going to lay our heads tonight, if we know how we can keep our family and our kids safe, then we'll keep doing the same thing every day because we've proved that it works. And when we get thrown into the unknown, our future becomes uncertain. It is actually a survival instinct to need certainty. So for all of us who are a little bit worn down with the lack of certainty in COVID, also I know, a lot of the people I'm talking to have been through the US elections recently, and in the world, we're all affected by this. And in the Buddhist philosophy, there's a concept called groundlessness, where we always want to get ground under our feet, but we never really can because the future is never certain. And this groundlessness is really uneasy. It's really edgy. It's where this kind of fidgety, nervous energy comes from when we're just constantly all day long trying to get the ground under our feet and to avoid change. And for some reason, hot desk popped into my mind this morning. It's like hot desking can never work because our minds will always resist not knowing where we're going to sit the following day. And so in so many ways, we are destabilized by the conditions in 2020. And that's normal. We're human. So we experience groundlessness, we experience uncertainty, and we resist it. And there is a certain amount of fatigue we've had in 2020 because so much is in a state of unknown, in a state of flux. And if that's what's happening for you, this is normal. You're human, you're an animal. You want certainty. That's why we have habits. Habits are very protective because we know what we're going to get. And we would rather choose a habit that's unhelpful than something unknown. So where we have a bunch of negative thinking that's creating a negative result in our lives, we will always pick it because we know what we're going to get, even though we could have some preferable result by exploring, getting curious, having an adventure into the unknown. And that's why why a lot of relationships are under strain at the moment. If we're thrust into this new world, we're not suddenly sure of anything. And if that's you, there's a way you can invite yourself to live with uncertainty. You're in it anyway, you might as well. Because otherwise we're sitting in this protective cocoon and we're not doing the things that will help us live a better life. We're not making the choices that will help us relax. So maybe today, think about this. Think about the things where your mind is going, change, uncertainty, and go, okay, how can I accept this uncertainty today? How can I look at this situation, which is uncertain at work, at home, in a relationship, out in the world, financially, education, whatever it is? How can I look at this as my friend? How can I look for the possibility that this uncertainty is taking me somewhere I want to go? Maybe it's expanding my horizons. Maybe it's expanding my resources, my capacity to deal with the world. Maybe there's a way where I can float on this uncertainty to a higher level than I've achieved before. So when something's happening today, when somebody puts the salt and pepper in a different place than usual, when your car isn't parked where you thought it was, where the boss has a new instruction today from yesterday, see if you can make something out of that. See if you can expand your capacity to be a human in this uncertain world. See if there's a way to ride that tide, and just keep looking for those ways, because what we can do is we can create safety and certainty inside ourselves if it doesn't exist out in the world. We like to control the world to feel safe. Actually, we can control ourselves to feel safe. Safety is a feeling. Aside from when we're being chased by an actual tiger, there are those situations, but mostly in 2020, safety is just a feeling, and we can create it by our thinking about, okay, how do I survive this change? How do I make the most of this change? How do I let this change serve me? How do I grow? How do I become resilient to this change? Maybe it's not going to do me any harm. So I would invite you just to look for ways in your day that that's true for you, and to find a way of creating this internal safety, because we can reassure ourselves, okay, this is change. okay, this is me experiencing groundlessness. This is me experiencing uncertainty. This is me not sure what's happening and whether it's okay for me, but still I can make a good decision, because fundamentally the important thing here is to make the best decisions for ourselves when we're facing uncertainty. It's not to avoid uncertainty, but just to be resilient to it. And by resilient, we can be anti-fragile. We can actually use this adversity to grow our capacity as humans. And it's a fantastic opportunity, even though it doesn't look like one right now, for this to happen. So have a look out in your day. Find out how you have this strength already inside you to be resilient to the circumstances right now.